Hello, and welcome back to the show! Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and leave a comment at the end of the video. And if you like the show and want more, make sure you check out our Patreon, where you can access content like behind-the-scenes vlogs, previews for up-and-coming projects, gaming sessions, and exclusive bonus episodes. Also, make sure you check out our Etsy shop for merch. We have plenty of shirts, mugs, and even stickers. And lastly, if you want to follow us elsewhere, look for @RyanPotsFunny on all other platforms. Now on with the show.
Sudden you're fucking 15 years in and you're 40.
Yeah.
It fucking flies right past.
I'm already approaching 10 years. I started when I was 21.
That's great. That's awesome. I started really late. I started 26. Late 26.
Yeah.
In 2010. But, oof. You just... all the struggle, like all the going to the mics and dealing with scummy producers, like you kind of like, man, that really blew by.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it coming up? Where did you come up?
I came up like in Covina and Pasadena area.
In 10 years there?
Yeah. Like the first mic I officially started going to was Ice House, but the one I would say like the one I came up in is Chatterbox in Covina.
Okay. Chatterbox been there for 10 years?
I think so. I think like... Yeah, they were already doing it like 2-3 years when I started.
Oh, shit.
So I think, they're like
Steve
almost 14
Hernandez is a
old.
warlock. He's just...
And I haven't thought about it. When I first met Steve, he had like a beard. And it was funny. We went on my birthday because I just turned 21. But it was like their mic used to be on like on Tuesdays or something. Mm-hmm. And we show up and nobody's there. It's like empty. And he had just opened. He's like, oh, yeah, we just moved like the week before. And he's like, fuck. So I actually didn't start going to Chatterbox until like a year into doing stand-up. Half a year, like 6 months. But it was fun and it was great. It was. I definitely understand that feeling they say where it's like Steve likes to say that you do it once and either you hate it, never do it again, or you love it and it ruins your life. And I 100% know that feels. Because the first time I went up, and I think that, this is kind of the exception to the rule. I did well. Like, not, phenomenal, but I didn't bomb, which is unusual. I want to say I didn't, like... I don't feel like I officially, like, bombed, like, did badly until a year into doing it, which I think is like the worst thing to happen to comedian.
No, it's the best thing to happen to you.
I mean, because it builds like a false sense of security. Like, that's right, I'm the exception. I'm going to make... And then you bomb hard, and it's like, damn it.
So you were coming out of the gate when you started doing stand-up. Were you into like self-deprecating or no? Because a lot of bigger comedians... Like that's normal. I'm not excluded with that. Like my first 5 minutes was just like hate speech on me. You know what I mean? Like it was like using my weight, like the way I sounded, and then like it was just something that just So that way I felt at the time if I could, you guys, I'm this big fat guy gonna go up there and just talk shit on myself. Then that leaves the gate open for me to like, all right, now it's society's turn. Now I could talk about whatever I want. I'd shit on me. Now I'm allowed to shit on everything else. Right. And that was like my way of doing. So I did well, really easy as well. Yeah.
No, I think that's probably why also. Ironically enough, I didn't write my first fat joke until a year later. My first jokes were about me being autistic.
Okay.
And this was at a time where like the idea of autistic comedians wasn't very prominent.
Yeah.
Like I definitely was the one in Covina for a minute. And I want to say it wasn't until like recent, like maybe the last 5 years, maybe after COVID, where people apparently during COVID, like a bunch of people having to sit by themselves all day, every day, started to discover that they had autism.
Okay.
And so it was a thing of like, one, you have like lower millennials who are being late diagnosed now. And then 2, you have older millennials who are discovering that they're autistic. So there's a lot of us now, but back when I was doing it, I was kind of like, one of 3 in our circles that were doing it. So that's what I started with.
How severely autistic are you? Like what, like on your level of like, I don't even know how to measure autism levels.
Okay, so because most people think that's what the spectrum is for. It's not what the spectrum is.
What's the spectrum for then?
So It's because I talk about it a lot.
I figured, yeah. You have jokes about it. That's why I'm asking.
No, yeah. So the spectrum is just a list of categories. It's through 80 years of studying it, it's a list of collected recognized attributes that are signs of autism. And then those are collected into groups that are like, so they see that autistic people are doing these things. They study them, try to figure out why they're doing these things. When they know the why, then they start organizing like how autism affects the brain. What is different about an autistic brain versus a considerably neurotypical brain? And then that is what the spectrum is. So they know, okay, if this person's autistic, these are the categories where they'll be affected.
Yeah.
And then in those categories, some people are affected more than others. Some people are affected less. The analogy I usually use is baseball cards. The baseball cards on the back have stats. And every card has the same stats, but everyone's score in those stats is different.
Okay.
That's the same with the spectrum. And conversely, not everyone plays for the major league. Like, not everyone's a baseball player. Only some people are baseball players. So the only way to get a baseball card, the only way to be on the spectrum is to be a baseball player. So the way that works in reverse is like not everyone is autistic. Only autistic people are autistic. They have scores on the spectrum. If you're not autistic, you have nothing on the spectrum.
Okay. Do you feel most people are autistic?
No.
No, okay. Just
I hear that.
Sure.
It's very distinct. When I'm explaining like the traits and attributes that I've recognized and people have recognized in me, sometimes people will be like, well, that sounds like something I do. And,
they make it about themselves.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But it'll also be a conversation of like one of two things is happening. Either you're not hearing me or you might also be autistic. Like masking. People, when they hear what masking is, they think that everyone does that.
What is it?
So essentially masking is a personality mechanism that some higher level, there's too much to explain.
You don't have to explain it. Okay, no. Got it.
Because autism.
Explain it. Look here, it's what's fucked up is I start this podcast wanting to know because my wife and I were trying to have a kid, right, for the longest time, and I was sober from November 4th, 2024 to about 2 days ago,
right,
because we were trying, quote unquote, and then another couple they're like similar ages to us, 39, 38, we're like 40, and that like they tried IVF treatment, it didn't work, and that seems so heartbreaking. It would be so heartbreaking to have my wife go through all that, and then how badly do we want a kid? We're both 40 with autism, because clearly that's all that comes out of a 40-year-old cum. I don't know if you know that.
So, yeah, there's a theory about it. It's being studied.
No, that's what the doctor told us. So, your husband is more prone to have a child with autism. And I was like, babe, if we're gonna have a kid with autism, we're gonna do it natural. All right, we're not gonna spend $10,000 to have an autistic kid.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I was like, well, what if now I'm thinking I'm being selfish, but not about myself, because I don't think I've. But I was like, but what would my child with autism be? And I'm looking at him right now. I think.
That's so funny. So funny.
You would be my kid, probably.
Because I wasn't going to bring it up originally, but I don't know if you got this when you were coming up. You are like one of three people I get compared to all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Fat guy with soft voice. I remind... It's either... was you... what's his name? Yurtsin Beltran? Or...
I don't know who that is.
He is like a road comic. He's very funny, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have it. We'll pull up a photo for the audience. I can't find it right now. I think it's yours. I hope I'm getting his name. Yurizan, Yurizan Beltran.
Beltran. Who's the third?
I can't remember. There's another person. Oh, Gabriel Iglesias.
Gabriel? He'll always get that. I mean, he's the OG soft voice guy.
True.
It's gotta be a different name, bro. It's gotta be a different name, bro.
Yeah, that'd be so great if you just made up a comic.
I'm afraid of what... Ew.
You're just on Beltran, dude.
Don't go...
Okay, we'll cut that out.
That is the opposite. Yeah,
That
that's
is
us, dude.
100%.
You gotta put her. You gotta put her name. You gotta put her up there. You gotta put her up there. That's who he thinks. All three of us, Gabriel Iglesias.
That's so funny. No, we have to show it now because I fucking said it.
We
In
all
my head,
got luscious boobies.
I'm picturing a guy that looks like us, and then it's like a white lady, a fucking bombshell white lady.
Were you jerking off earlier?
No,
that was in your head.
I don't know why I got those names confused. I mean, I know his name.
What is she?
starts
Is she a
with
comic?
No, she's
No,
an adult
she's not.
actress. She's a porn star.
I know.
This is great. Oh man.
I'm trying to think of how his fucking. I know his last name is Beltran. That is
Okay.
accurate. I know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Isn't that infuriating? That's terrible.
No, absolutely. Because
Is Xander Beltran?
maybe you have to show me his face. He looks like me in high school.
Xander Beltran.
Like if you saw photos of me in high school, this guy looks like me grown up.
How similar do you look now to like when you looked in high school?
Completely different. This guy looks like this.
No, it's not that guy.
Yeah, I was
Although
gonna say,
I'm
I know
sure-
Xander Beltran.
I have to remember. I'm gonna have
It's
to
okay, it's
deep
okay,
scroll through.
it's okay.
What's upsetting me is
Soon-
now that I know who it is. The first time I said it, like so many people
Name the podcast.
knew what was going to
the
happen.
name of that guy. That's what you should do because we won't remember his name.
Oh,
but
yeah,
as soon as you
we'll
figure it out,
find it out. We'll make
name
it the title.
podcast that
Yeah.
name.
We'll put it. Sorry, blank. I don't even
Okay.
remember what we were talking about.
No,
I
I
just
just-
because you mentioned you called me your kid. Yeah, we get compared a lot. Like people send me that's. Before I met you, people were sending me clips of you because they're like, this guy looks exactly like you. It's like, I get why you're saying that, but we don't.
Well, it's just the shape. They just
Exactly,
mean
yeah,
the
yeah.
shape. They just get the shape. Like what's great about here's I have such this is where we're the opposite in this thing. Like I still self-deprecate so much, even when people don't ask for it,
Yeah.
and that's an unnecessary trait. But that's what shows my age. I feel
Yeah.
like kids now are a lot. People go, they're soft. I'm like, no, they're nice. Society should be nicer.
They're just more aware of
They're
each
just
other.
more aware of being nice. Like 40-year-olds, elder millennials and up, we're just fucking dickheads. Everything sucks. We're so negative. Look at this fat this. Look at this dumb that. Look at this blah blah. And it's like, but now you guys are like, okay, whatever. Like if I did a room full of Gen Zers, is that what you are, Gen Z or elder or younger millennial?
I believe I'm considered the lowest half. Like it's me, then 2 more years, and then it's Gen Z.
Okay.
So-
Well, sometimes I'll get too hard on myself, or I'll just do. I'm gonna get them with a couple of self-deprecates, a couple self-depies, you know, and then fucking do it, and they go,
It's
no.
the fucking worst. I
No.
practice jokes like on TikTok Live.
Yeah.
And you can always tell when somebody is Gen Z because I'll tell people like tell us a joke. And I'm like, all right, here's one of my popular jokes, and do a fat joke.
yeah.
And they're like, you're not fat. I'm like, yes, I am.
It's like, dog. You'd be like, my heart hurts. They'll be like, no, don't be sad. They're like, no, my chest. I can't breathe.
I have conjunctivitis.
Well, like right now, like if my generation,
affects the heart.
my generation were to get a hold of like us talking right now,
infection.
someone's gonna make a fake Instagram account just to shit on us. Like that couch is fucking, you know, like,
Yeah.
the couch is reinforced with steel. And then I just
It's
know
embarrassing. It is reinforced.
it is. Yeah, it's definitely. I feel it's made out of
There's a-
Wakanda metal. You know what I mean? It's looking
what kind of metal is that?
Vibranium. Anyways, but yeah, no. Did you look pretty much the same in high school or different?
My hair's different. I grew my hair a lot more. I started cutting
Same
my own hair.
situation for me. Yeah.
I cut my own hair just because.
Cut your own hair?
Yeah.
Why do all autistic people cut their own hair?
We don't like people touching it. Like
Oh.
it's a
You're
thing.
literally like the 7th person who says I have autism and I cut my own hair.
Yeah. So for a lot of people with autism, the way I describe autism. It's my personal, theory about autism is that it's at its core it's a processing disorder, where autistic people, their brains don't develop that monkey see monkey do thing of like, so someone who's not autistic, that's how they learn. They learn by seeing the environment around them and replicating it. Autistic
Okay.
people their brains don't know how to discern what is and is not important information.
Yeah.
So either they receive all information all the time, or they ignore all of it. And so for the people that receive all the information, they're hyper aware of everything all the time. That's why you hear like about sensory overload when people are in public and they have, meltdowns. So that's definitely a thing for me of like, I don't just feel my hair getting cut. I feel like the rhythm of the clippers. I feel I can hear the cord jingling back and forth, scraping on the floor. I hear everyone else's haircuts going on, and then I feel people touching me. And
you're like Daredevil powers, man.
It's like, I tell people, like, I don't have better hearing than other people. Just my brain doesn't know to block that out.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't. That's a lot. That could be a lot.
It can be. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I cut my own hair. It's like for a while I liked like old barbers, like from the 70s barbers.
Yeah.
But a lot of them started retiring. They're getting older, and so they were like they're all selling their barbershops to young people, and young people, are good at it. I don't want to dismiss, like, everyone's good, but young people talk too much when they're cutting your hair. And the last guy I went to, he was like 35. This was maybe 7 years ago.
Ethnic barbers?
No,
like
I was going to a Latino barber.
I'm talking about Chinese lady. If she'll fucking not talk at all.
If I have to go, I save up for it and I go to a salon.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're usually, because this dude, he's doing a good job, but he's like tapering me.
Yeah.
And he's talking, so he's going like this.
I
come home, my back neck is like all purple because he scraped it. He didn't cut me, but he scraped the shit out of my neck. With the clippers.
All right. Well, I used to have anxiety about going to barbers, but it was just an internal thing when I was a lot younger.
Right.
And so yeah, I definitely. You always go, "Am I autistic?" Like, nah, nah, I'm good.
No.
But that's fucked. Okay. So
well, like, taking it back to what I was saying about masking, I don't think I ever finished explaining.
Finish. Yeah.
So, what masking is for autistic people is a social buffer. They learn how to replicate and sound like everyone else so that nobody knows they're autistic. Like an example is a lot of autistic people, they don't know how to regulate emotion. Like if they're feeling extra excited, they don't think to control themselves. They're just happy. So they stim, or they're very loud and excited, and it's usually more than other kids and adults that don't have autism. So often a thing that we're told is like we smile weird because we smile big, or we smile like, or like we're bad at forcing a smile because we're being told to smile. We're not technically happy, so we don't know how to do it, like fake it. So a lot of autistic people practice in the mirror. They practice looking sad when someone's telling them a sad story. They practice looking happy.
Have you practiced in the mirror doing that?
Yeah, when I was younger. I used to practice different laughs. I have a joke about it where like it became a sort of vocal stem of mine, certain laughs that I thought were funny, and then I would also practice normal laughs because I was told I had an obnoxious laugh. It was just very loud.
Okay. So that affected you somehow to where you had to start practicing laughs.
Yeah. And that's usually where masking comes from. It's like, it's other people sort of regulating how you act in public.
Okay.
So you learn to do it yourself.
All right.
So when people hear that, they compare it to social camouflage, which is not the same thing. Social camouflage is what everyone does, where it's like you see someone you haven't seen in a while. You don't really, maybe they're a boring storyteller, but they don't know because you laugh at their story appropriately and stuff like that.
It's the nice thing to do. You can't just go, ugh.
That's manners.
Stop talking to me. But then you end up avoiding that person.
Yeah.
Like a normal person ends up avoiding that person.
The autistic person wouldn't. They would like learn to make that person think they're enjoying the story. And then, a lot of autistic people want people to accept them. That's kind of like you're looking to prove that the masking is working. So they would actually stay in that conversation and not know how to leave. And then they end up being that person that's like sitting there for hours in silence while someone yammers at them.
I had a buddy back home who was like really good at dishing it. Like he would like, you're this and that. But as soon as you hit him back with the same energy, his feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
I can't believe you said that. I was like, we were just bantering back and forth. We were just doing a thing. And if you said something, he got uncomfortable. And I used to not think that dude was autistic until like we started shitting on each other like how normal comics would do. But then like sometimes he would pause and it would hurt his feelings, and I go, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
You definitely autistic. Yeah. Fuck. You want to talk shop earlier? I don't know. I'm going to talk like because I've been trying to eat good. You and I were trying to eat clean.
Right.
We're trying to be around for longer. But like when you're not eating clean, what's your dirty meal? Like what's your like eat in the car? Because I do that. I eat in the car all the time. I call it having an affair on my wife. So it's like a like Jack in the Box or some shit. And I know I have a problem, but I want to talk heroin shop. Like what are you eating in the car? I'll go first because I was the one who asked the question. I hate it when it's so funny you say all these stuff and I'm like, I just have like a salad. That'd been real fucked up. But no, I'll get like munchie meals from Jack in the Box, that $12 one, and then I'll get 2 extra tacos and I'll douse the whole thing. I asked for too much ranch. And then I think I have an addiction to Taco Bell that is unnecessary. I like know, like my algorithm is like secret menu stuff that's coming up on the seasons.
Right.
Like I knew, like I've known about the little Crunch Wrap dippers for about a year now before they even came out. What is your favorite thing to eat?
It varies. I feel like the way I try to control myself is like I will eat fine for the most part, and then pick something out as like the reward for going so long.
Okay.
So like it's always something different. I think the most common thing I mentioned earlier is I get cheese fries from Wiener Schnitzel. It's like just the shredded cheese on top, no chili, and it's always funny to ask for that because they're always like, it's not melted when we put it on. It's like, yeah, but it's gonna melt. It's gonna be fine. Like
sometimes it doesn't though. So you're just eating cold cheese on top of fries?
I like clip the box and I turn it upside down so that the
like
fries
a salad?
melt the
you
cheese.
Like hit it like a salad?
Yeah. It works.
That's all. I'm not saying. I just have never heard that. Yeah. Like I mix up the dressing, but I gotta make the cheese melt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say beyond that, it's usually like I will plan the day so that I can, like, if I know a birthday's coming up, especially if it's tres leches cake, I will make sure like no carbs, no sugar the whole week, and then that day I'll have that right before taking my metformin, so it's like levels out.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
I don't do any of that. You're still conscious of like that. I just give me the raw. Give me a goddamn. I make a whole day of it, dude. It's terrible. I'll start. Huh?
I'm the same way.
Bro, I'll start off with like just if it's like I'm off, if I'm like not on a diet, they'll go cheat day. Let's really fucking cheat, man. I want to feel food up to here. You know what I mean? I want to keep pushing it down. So it'll be like I think the worst day was like I start off with like a croissant egg sandwich. It's like my favorite thing in the whole world. And then for lunch it'd be something fucking cheeseburger bullshit. And then for dinner it'll be like last night I went too hard. I went to a Mexican restaurant. And I fucking too many chips. Sometimes you gotta ask for the chips, but the fucking server, he knew. He grabbed them. He's like, more chips? I didn't. Before I could say anything, he just brought more chips, and I was like, motherfucker knows. That's 20% tip actions right there. And then I just ate just enchiladas and a gringo taco. Just indulging. And I'm like, this is why I am the way I am. Just awful, shameless. And then the next day, I don't think about like some people are like, I gotta check my medicine. I thought, no, fucking, I don't do none of that. And I feel like that's a new generation thing. Where you're kind of responsible with your blood sugar a little bit.
I mean, well, now that I've like, because we talked about like
you've hit the point.
I've hit that threshold of like, no, I have to now. Because I will say before I officially like had diabetes, which I'm comfortable talking about. Everyone saw it coming. It's fine.
You have never talked about it on this before?
No.
Okay.
I've never. Well, so for the longest time, I mentioned before that we started recording that I was pre-diabetic for a while. Yeah. And I was maintaining that. I was on the like decline, but then I had one year where I was just like havhaving cope days, not cheat days, but like days where, and when I have,
you're an emotional eater.
Sort of, yeah. It's a thing of like I'm seeking positive stimulation. So I don't have cheat days necessarily. I have like coping days, but coping days I don't get like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like everyone has a cheat meal. I get snacks.
Okay, you're a grazer.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's like munchie level. Like my goal when I go out is like I don't want to spend a lot of money that's why I get snacks instead of food. But then I'm like, what's the most amount of snacks I can get for like $12? So like, and then I'll be honest, I get a little weird with it. Nothing gross, but like okay. I used to do this thing where I put hot Cheetos in the freezer.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We're starting wild, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I like cold
Cool
Cheetos.
them down?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I like cold Cheetos.
You can't cool down picante.
I'm telling you, try it once. Okay. You'll put your Cheetos in the freezer from now on.
I'm not gonna have a bag of Cheetos and be like, it's Cheetos ice cream. We've hit that level of fatness. Cold Cheetos.
That, and then I'd wrap them in strips of like I buy string cheese, and then I'd break down the string cheese and I'd wrap them and make like fucking dumbass hors d'oeuvres.
Okay,
but it was fun. It tastes good.
Of course,
try it.
This is how we get to where we get is fucking freezing Cheetos and then wrapping it in string cheese. I'm not judging how you do it. I was a millennial Cheeto eater, so I would just I don't want I don't want no one to know I ate the Cheetos. Right. So you're dipping that back like a dump truck into your mouth so that you don't get none of the leopard dust, so people know that you've been marked. No. Yeah, I would just go right there, bucket. But I've never heard of frozen Cheetos before.
I like them. I know I've met a few other people that do it, so I know I'm not the only one. But I know it's
here's the thing. I don't know if you remember back in the day on TV there was a weird there was like a TV show that showed people the stuff that they ate weirdly. You know what I mean? What was that?
I forgot to turn off my phone.
My
brother, when he texts me, it's a line from Invader Zim.
Okay.
Where I forget what the mission is. Zim is about to conduct some kind of evil experiment, and then before he gets to explain what it is, the robot pops out and he says, "Are you gonna make biscuits?" And he just starts screaming that at him. "Are you gonna make biscuits?" So that I made that my brother's ringtone.
Fuck, you would be my kid, dude. Jesus Christ. My wife loves Invader Zim. That's like one of our third date. She was like, "Have you heard of Invader Zim?"
I met the guy that voices Zim and the guy that voices Gur at the same time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're really chill.
I figured they're cartoon actors. That's the thing. That's the field I'm trying to get into.
It's difficult.
It is very difficult.
And I want to say like right now, because I'm an animation nerd, like not anime, like cartoons. Like I liked learning about them. I liked practicing voice. I do impressions and voices.
Oh, you do? Can you do some of them? I'm not trying to be...
No. I keep looking at Josh because all the things they're asking me to do, I usually find a way to bring it up on my own anyway.
Oh, my God.
For the first time, we have someone who wants to know about all of it.
I've got a voice agent. Like I've go out for auditions. I'm in the infant process of like becoming a voice actor. Got my first callback the other day. So like I'm in it, and I love all the Joe DiMaggios. I love the Phil Lamar's. I love fucking Tom Kenny. I think this is the SpongeBob guys. SpongeBob. So I like knowing that these people have a career just being goofy or doing a character. I find it interesting. Like my favorite show, American Dad, for the longest time. Right. I don't watch The Simpsons on a regular basis, but every season I watch the special Halloween one. You know what I mean? And then
Treehouse of Horrors.
It goes down to like watching propaganda cartoons. You know what I mean? Like my wife's like, "Have you seen the fucking where Donald Duck is a Nazi?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I'm like, I play it. I'm like, "What the fuck? They actually did that."
Yeah, there's an old one from like early Looney Tunes where the dog starts saying, "Look at them, they're attacking the towers," and people lost their fucking minds.
The fuck?
Because this was in the 70s and 80s, so this was way before 9/11 happened.
Yeah,
there's so many like old conspiracy videos. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then like even your niche shit, like your Pepper Ann's, your what else? Down to the PBS cartoons.
Yeah,
you brought up Arthur earlier. I grew up watching Arthur, and fucking Wishbone's not a cartoon, but shouts out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so
Recess. You know what I mean?
So I was like super into, I want to say like I knew everything about the history of animation right up until like 2012.
Okay.
That's when like millennials start becoming voice actors. So when like people around me start becoming voice actors and I stopped paying attention, I only knew like the shit I like to talk about, which was old cartoons.
That's cool.
But I do know like what's changed in the last 20 years of animation. The biggest thing is there's a lot less group sessions. There's a lot less pulling two characters in to talk at the same time. It's almost entirely done from home now.
Yeah.
Everyone's building their own home studios. And like Netflix is a big thing about it. You watch Netflix, for some reason the characters sound weird. Not bad, but just weird. And it's because none of these people were talking to each other in real life. What a lot of animators do, especially like when they're, I don't want to dismiss the effort that goes in animation, but some put more effort than others to a specific degree. What a lot of people do to make something more efficient is each individual person will just do all of their lines in the sessions that they're hired to do, and they'll do options, every single one, just a bunch of different options, and then they'll take all these options and they'll piece them together to see which ones sound like they go together.
That's terrible.
And then that's how they build it. Now there's just more of a demand for it, and it before it'd be a thing where like voice acting was just a part of acting, and so you could fall into it and then it becomes your thing, or you could specifically seek it, like who's Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah.
Specifically wanted to do voice acting, not live action. And that's what she pursued and that's what she got. Now there's so much energy. Like me starting from, I don't have an agent right now. I should get one soon. But so like to do it myself, I'd have to save up money to make a home studio. And then I'd have to save up money again to professionally record a demo. And then that's how I start off. The other options, variable.
You could do it here,
Start
though.
with action.
You could literally do your audition here.
Yeah.
This situation, like that's what I go to a podcast studio. I use my buddy's thing to turn in an audition, right? And here's the thing. I say voice agent. I was lucky enough to meet her at doing comedy festivals. I'd say you'd have to start going out to the store more, showing face, because that's the way you get. They're not going to see your face unless you show it. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
So,
that's been the other thing. Is I'm not just the autism. I'm disabled.
Mm-hmm.
I have a severe impairment in my right eye. I'm technically blind in my right eye.
Okay.
So what I've learned in recent years, the terminology is very specific. I can't be considered blind because it's only in one eye, but the eye itself, if that was like how I saw in both eyes, would be considered blind.
Okay.
I can still see through it. I have no depth perception. My eye can't focus on things. Like it's always blurry. And it's beyond the aid of prescription lenses. Like this does nothing on this side.
Oh shit.
This is just
so is it just blurry right now, or what is it?
Yeah. Like if I'm only looking through this eye, it's incredibly blurry. It kind of feels like that second when an old TV turns on, when the pixels are starting to turn into image. It's like right there, that in between.
But it doesn't stop. Like
you see the image, but it's still pixelated. That's what everything looks like all the time in this eye.
Okay. Don't ever close that eye.
So it's that plus a lot of.
So you don't drive?
That's what I was getting. Yeah, I don't drive.
Gotcha.
And right now I'm living in like, not a rural area, but like I'm living in the IE, so traveling is a bitch.
I understand.
I don't, the biggest thing is I don't have access to the metro. Like I have one train that comes out to my area, but I don't have access to the bus system. And the bus
Why
system,
is that? Because you're so rural. Because it's so rural.
Like LA, well, because it's LA Metro, so it extends so far. I think the farthest that like the Silver Line goes is like Ontario or Fontana. Okay. So, and I'm farther than that.
Jesus.
So I can't just like get up and go spend my day on the bus like I did.
Yeah, of course.
I used to live in San Gabriel Valley. And that was a lot easier because you have the access to the Silver Line, the Foothill, and the subway system, the Gold Line. So I could literally like get anywhere within the day, and that's like the thing I do that day. Now it's incredibly so. Like I'm going to Mike's a lot less right now, and
sucks.
It's just that's attributed to like the delay of me being able to pursue the stuff I want right now.
Of course, yeah, but I mean, don't ever let. I mean, it'll happen. I didn't move to LA till I was 34.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're still pretty young. You're still pretty young. So definitely, I mean, just the fucking public transit in LA sucks.
Terrible.
It's the worst. So, I mean, go to New York, it's so fucking efficient. And then here, like, luckily I'm close to the red line. That goes right to Union Station and then right to LAX. So, like, that was so lucky on that aspect. But as far if I lived in the valley or any further, I feel like it'd be trash.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely like, I think when you get that far, and that if you're just relying on like public transportation, it's like 4 hours.
That's fucking awful.
Crazy.
Oh my god!
I have a friend who's in Fresno, and we started playing D&D, and they were like, "Could you make it? I know you live in California." I looked it up. It would take me 6 hours to get there. It would literally take me half the day to get there and back. I wouldn't even get to go to sleep.
Man, that makes sense.
I mean, you can sleep on the train. I don't trust it.
You don't trust it?
I don't like falling asleep on the train.
Okay. I mean, I have, but it's like 3 stops. And I'm like, all right, bro, I'm here. Okay. So how do you feel about AI?
I think that I have a few different opinions about AI.
Well, just mostly because I feel like I just started getting into the voice acting game. And now it's like a lot of auditions are voice this, not non-union. Voice this, you get a lump sum, and we keep that voice for something. I mean, and I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what because why you need the person when you could just take the voice and then now we don't have to. We just pay you a one-time fee of $100K, and then you don't get any residuals. Your voice is being used, but they own the way you say that voice. They don't own your voice, but they could use it for whatever they want.
Yeah.
So that's kind of terrifying.
I think that on one hand, yeah, I don't put it past corporations having the gall to do that. You know what I mean? I do think that's something they try. I don't think it's at a level where it'd be successful. You know, like people are trying it, and it's very it's awful.
Yeah,
It looks bad. It sounds bad. And that's because right now, I don't even like calling it AI. I mean, it's what it's called, but I think the idea of it being called artificial intelligence is disingenuous because it's not artificial intelligence. It doesn't think on its own. It's simulated intelligence. You still have to feed it the data that it works with.
Yeah.
You know, like ChatGPT still has to have access to the internet in order to function at all. If it didn't have that, it'd be as dumb as anyone, you know?
Okay, I got you. That makes me feel a little bit better, but the tinkering of that will continue, and eventually it will be smart enough to where all the cartoons are robots. A cartoon about a robot will be played by a robot voice that sounds like a human.
And we'll finally have equality.
Oh, shit. So, like, that bums me out because I feel like you're a funny guy. And I feel like you should be getting those reps in.
Yeah.
You have something to prove to somebody out there?
No. I will say, so we this same area, same equipment, but we're a brand new show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and so there was a transitional period where the crowd from Umaki was kind of starting over. Mm-hmm. I don't judge anyone for that or anything, but it's so. I don't know if you experienced this because I don't know if you live stream at all.
Nah.
I go on live on TikTok. I try to go like twice a week. Sometimes it's exhausting to hear people have passive support. Like, they're like, you're so funny, you're going to make it one day. And I'm like, I could make it today if you like and shared my shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to, you know, or they'll come into the live and they're like, I haven't seen you in months. And I'm like, I've been here the whole time. I do the same thing I was doing then. And it's so that's what that was. It was like me just like giving shit to the fans. But I love you. Thank you for supporting me.
I've come to the crossroads of not really giving a fuck. Last year, a couple years, I was so hell-bent on trying to get all these followers,
right?
And trying to like, how come this? You start looking at other people's yards versus just like dealing with the things that I can control. Yeah. You know, like the only thing I can control is like the jokes I write, the content that I put out, and I know that for my goals, it shouldn't require me having anxiety because I'm losing followers because I'm either not active, not doing it right. Or not. I'm going to hire somebody eventually. I want to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. And I feel like that's just the move I got to do. And that'll get me the followers versus like having to worry about like, oh, if I post this, I'll lose followers. If I post that, I'll lose followers. And I'm tired of. I've literally stopped giving a fuck. Like the last 2 years was like the goal was to get from like I'm like at 80,000 followers and I want to get to 100K. The quest to 100, and it's like, dude, why? Who gives a fuck? Like all this could just not. You could have no followers.
Yeah,
you know. And I've been focusing on just writing jokes, writing in general, and that's given me such ease. So like. Live streaming for me would be disingenuous. Like I don't give a fuck.
I get it. I kind of get where you're coming from, and I do think like if circumstances were different, I probably would be, in my own situation, in that same mindset. I think right now the reason I choose to put energy into it is like it's because I can't travel as excessively as I'd want to.
You need to waste.
So
yeah,
like,
I got you.
I need to be able to like remind people I exist essentially. Like that's also partly, when we were. So I do 2 shows.
Yeah,
and they're bi-weekly. So instead of doing one show every single week, I do one show one week and then another show the other week and then back and forth. And the reason for that was I wanted to be able to engage in a community I was a part of. I was like cemented in, which is the autism creator community, which is why I created that show. It's a spectrum where I get to talk with people, but I also wanted to be able to stay in touch with this community, with comedy and with the LA scene and kind of just creators in general.
Yeah.
So that's also partly why I kept Reydar. Originally, people were suggesting that I just do It's a Spectrum, but they've shown to be both like viable or necessary for me to engage in the community. Because, if I did one, I wouldn't have as much access to the other, and I kind of need both right now.
Okay.
Like this, not that I need it, but this is the way that I engage.
You enjoy doing it.
Until I can do it physically,
Yeah, you like doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, you like the live stream. It's fine. I'm just like, ugh, I can't. I just think because I put so much energy into wanting to get followers or to accept people to accept me. But I guess if I couldn't drive anywhere, I probably would be on. I'd probably have 4 podcasts.
I will say, like, I have stopped pursuing it for the sake of like being online famous. It's more like where I'm at now, especially that I've had to restart a couple of times the last like decade, is I'm making what I want to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And the people that are staying are the people I care about. Like if I get 100 followers in a week because the clip went viral and then I'm not making that content the next week, so they leave, I don't give a shit about those people.
That's great. That's great. There are comics that do worry about that. Yeah. That like they worry about it so much. And I like that you don't pander.
Yeah.
Because you're a Mexican comic. Right? Latin comic.
I am Latino.
Latino. Yeah, just whatever it is. That's like you're not pandering to the LA scene. At one point I was like, should I start writing more Mexican? Just because you hang out with other Mexican comics that are like a specific style that you see is popular or a specific style that isn't you, and then you're like, it makes you feel inferior as a Mexican or as a Latin person. Right. And I'm like, should I be like this? Like, it's popular, you know what I mean? And I used to question that a bunch. And I was like, I like being alty and weird. I just like it. I like it. And that's what's really gotten me it's got me the stuff that you would assume would help your career. But at this point, like stuff like The Late Show, stuff like Just for Laughs, it could do nothing. Right. Like you could stay stagnant. And I feel like that stuff has helped me with opportunities, but like I'm still here. I still got a 1-bedroom apartment. I still got all the things that you think are going to get you something. Doesn't do shit. Yeah. Until I feel like the mental stuff has to change. And I feel like I'm barely starting to come around to that. But that's what I'm saying. I respect you. I don't even feel like you had to think about pandering at all, right?
My head hurts.
There's a tea for that.
I'm also sick.
There's a tea for that.
And I can't sleep.
Aw. Well, there's a tea for that.
Where are you finding all these teas?
Legacy Teas and Spices, of course.
What if I just want black tea?
They have that.
What if I get tired of regular tea?
Well, you're in luck. Legacy has a wide array of blended teas and flavors, including favorites like Peach Lavender Rose, Passion Fruit Hibiscus, and the all-time bestseller, Vanilla Lemongrass. Here, see for yourself.
Wow, I can't wait to try it.
Make sure to go to legacyteasandspices.com and use coupon code RYAN20 for 20% off. like kind of being autistic kept me straight on that. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna be yourself regardless. You
not
can't
that
help.
I didn't want to try that. I wasn't good at it. I couldn't do it naturally where
Yeah.
it sounded good. And so it was like, I was bad at the pandering jokes, and the stuff I came up with on my own just happened to be, it was funnier. And so I never really felt like I had to do that,
Yeah.
mostly just because I couldn't, I don't know how to be disingenuous. And that's like usually the tip. A lot of autistic people ask me how I got started and like what tips. And that's one of my biggest ones is like, don't try to write comedians jokes. Like just what I think about it is like how you write a joke is you find something you think is funny.
Yeah, of course.
You figure out why you think it's funny. And then you figure out how to explain that to people so they think it's funny.
Yeah.
You're thinking of it like selling a product.
It's me doing my jokes, but it's me like adding. I'm like, "What's up, fool?" I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like, you're doing your jokes, but the crowd work is like I do crowd work, but my crowd work's pretty weird. But then I'll Mexicanify my crowd work. I'm like, "What's up?" Yeah, I'm like, "You got kids?" Of course you got kids. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You're 15 years in the game, like, but you just see how others do it, and they genuinely do it, and then I'm like, oh no, just fucking be yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you lose the cholo with the face tattoo as a fan, it is what it is.
Yeah, and when I stop thinking about that,
Yeah.
I tend to be received well by those dudes.
Yeah.
I think it's because I don't seem like a threat, so they don't feel like they have to fight me.
No,
even if I do a joke they don't
they're
like.
not fighting any of us.
Exactly.
They're not fighting any of us.
I'm trying to think of. I have one really dumb joke where I pretend to do crowd work.
Yeah.
But it's a poop joke. It's really stupid.
You pretend to do crowd work and it ends up being a poop joke.
I do like a really monotone voice, like I'm not like scared, but like I'm shy, and I'm like, so my mom watches my comedy. She says I have to be more personal on stage, so I'm gonna, I have to reach out to the audience, connect with the audience. I'm gonna try that, and then I start doing a voice. I'm like, "Hey, yo, fellas," and I start pacing. You ever like go to the bathroom, and you're at the urinal and you're peeing, and halfway through you feel a fart coming on, and you think it's to be quiet, so you're like, "Fuck it," you're the only one in the bathroom, so you let it rip, and then it just won't stop. Like it's the longest, loudest fart you've ever experienced in your life. So you start trying to pee louder than the fart. I thought I turned the sound up. God damn it.
Go on with the joke, Ryan. I want to hear this poop joke.
So, fuck, what did I say? Oh, you're peeing louder than the fart. So the harder you pee, the faster you pee. Now you're out of pee. Now you're just standing in the middle of the bathroom with your pants down, farting like you're trying to launch yourself in the air. And usually that'll get them.
That'll get them. Yeah. That's the best part. Usually that'll get them.
Yeah.
They've been got.
But it's like stupid shit like that. It's like once in a while I'll think of a really stupid joke.
Yeah.
And nobody will like it when I'm explaining it to them. Like
No, nobody
especially,
like you
through
can't. It's
text.
not good if you have to explain a joke.
But then I do it like when I'm sharing with other comics, and then I do it on stage, and it kills. I have one joke that it makes no sense. I'm just ranting about how. It's a joke I usually tell like if I drank too soon before the show, so I'm a little buzzed.
Okay. You got a little confidence.
You have that like energy of like a drunk guy ranting,
Okay.
Where I think cats can talk.
I
think they can talk. I think that they learned to talk just so they could choose not to because they're dicks that like to ignore people. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's the whole bit is I'm just ranting on how I think cats can talk. People fucking love that joke.
Yeah.
It's like me thinking cats to talk is my women be shopping joke.
Do you have cats?
No.
No cats.
No, I hate
and
cats.
You got a cat. You hate cats?
No, I don't hate cats. I want to be clear. I have a lot of mutuals and fans that love cats. I'm kidding. No, but
Wait, hold on. If you really hate cats, say you hate cats. You fuck them.
No,
hey, fuck
it's always my instinct because I know it'll piss people off. But what actually happened was just all of the women on my mom's side are allergic to cats. So I just was never allowed to have one.
Me too.
Because they would like kill half my family.
I am not like killing, but like definitely when I first started dating my wife, it was like, man, I'm like, like a lot of that scratching. I scratched the shit out of myself, and I just sort of built up a tolerance to cats which is still every now and then during this, and I'll scratch the shit out. She goes, stop scratching. I'm like, well, these cats have to fucking leave then, you know? I can't just stop scratching. And she goes, I'll take a Benadryl. I was like, I'd rather be dead. I don't want to fucking take extra pills. I hate taking stuff. I don't take anything if I have a headache, like, I feel like that's why, like, guys who, like, are married or have a lady in their life, they're like, just fucking take it. And I go, yeah, I'll take it, I guess. But, like, I don't take allergy medicine. I don't take, like, if I'm in severe pain, I could have a pill full of narcos and shit.
Right.
Like, no, that's party drugs, man. That's like, for me, when I'm gonna go rage, man. What are you talking about? But, like, for pain, I'm like, ugh, no. Yeah, but same thing with allergy medicine. I'd rather just scratch. That feels good versus having to take a pill. I don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I know. So I was just curious because you got a random cat joke. I have 2 cats. Yeah, I love them very much. But no, before that, I was raised like my Mexican dad would say they're like a link to the devil, and they're gross. Which just say they're gross. You don't got to add religion.
That's crazy.
Adding religion to that part. Just say that. I would respect my dad more or old Mexicans more if they're just like, nah, they're gross. They're not for us. Versus like the devil. Like, what are you talking
That's
about?
hilarious. People that like associate the devil with any animal, it's great. Like goats. People think goats are demonic.
Yeah. They're pretty metal.
They say that, and then you see a goat like faint because someone startled him. I'm like, how is that dude evil? Have you ever seen that one? Like
the devil is a trickster, man. He's a trickster. He thinks you're down, but he's not.
Like when people run up on like kid goats and they go, and then you just fall down faking dead.
Did you grow up super religious?
No. Like, okay, so my parents did take me to church, but it's LA church. You know what I mean? It's like
no, I don't. No, please explain. What's LA church?
Like,
do you know LA church?
LA Christians often, they don't have like a chapel, you know what I mean? They find a place to rent out and they start meeting there. And that's how
it works. That's Paisa Church, dude. No, I know what you're talking about. That's Paisa Church. It's like a church or in a random neighborhood. You're like, what the fuck? Why is there a church in a random neighborhood?
Yeah. I would just say like
non-denominational, I'd say.
Yeah. And it was also just like I do recognize like the usual experience people have, especially millennials, like growing up with churches, but I didn't really have a bad experience going to church.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because I was autistic. It was on one hand, it was like I wasn't being pulled into that the deep like passion for church. Not to say that I didn't like church or that I don't believe in God, but like, you know what I mean? Like where the people have blind faith in the church, not just the religion,
being Mexican,
but
dog. What are you talking about?
I didn't have that. You know, I went to church. I was good at it. I remember the books.
I was good at church. That's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah,
I was good at it.
Yeah.
You remember the books. You're autistic. Of course you remember the fucking books. I don't remember shit. It was read to me thousands of times, and I'll go, nothing.
That's another funny thing, because I have ADHD also, is sometimes when my dad, one of my punishments was having to read a whole page from the Bible and then recite it and tell him what it, and there's this thing that I have because I have ADHD where I go on autopilot when I read out loud. So I'm reading clearly. I'm pronouncing every word appropriately. I'm not getting anything mixed up, but I'm not hearing anything I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I read the whole book out loud, word for word, verbatim, and they'll be like, so what did you just read? I'm like, I have no idea.
Ah.
And
you're thinking like, what am I going to have for dinner later?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm thinking of like, when this is over.
You're like a tiny little human inside your brain operating a vessel. Meanwhile, you're doing something else, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I do that on stage. You can, which makes you a great candidate for being a headliner. Like if you got to do 45 minutes to an hour,
here, folks.
You write an hour of material. If you got to just it down to a T. I've done an hour, and then they're like, "Dude, you crushed," and I was like, "Wasn't there." You know what I mean? Wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to that point. I think right now I'm at a place where I could probably do like 15 to 20 without thinking about it. Mm-hmm. The second I hit 20, my ADHD starts to like act up and I start spacing.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember a joke that I've been telling for 8 years, you know?
Yeah. I just end up writing jokes and then finding the closest things that link them and go, all right, this is the kid chunk. This is the wife chunk. this is the unhoused homeless person chunk.
Right.
This is the and then you just put it all together and you got an hour. But like you separate it in chunks, 15-minute chunks.
Yeah,
So,
I used to like run through my set. Like I wouldn't do it out loud, but I'd put on headphones, noise canceling headphones. I tell people like an hour before I'm about to go on stage, nobody can talk to me, and then I would time myself, and then I would just run through my set over and over again, and
shit.
it worked. But it was giving me anxiety because I was putting so much pressure on myself to not forget any of the words. And so I definitely still get like stage anxiety.
yeah.
It's gotten better though. But like when I first started out, the first like 3 years, I would be having a panic attack once I was done being on stage.
Yeah.
I would walk out the door, wait outside, and like not talk to anybody until I calmed down.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's a sensory overload, right? That's
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
be
yeah.
as well. No, man, I could just show up to a venue, do an hour, and leave. Not even think about it, like not bat an eyelash. So that's just like repetition.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it is. That's all it is.
That's what I'm trying to get to. It's fun seeing that too. It's funny when I'm on with someone who like, has been doing it 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Everyone knows them because that's where they're at. And so people will be like, did you get, like, I did a show with Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And I was like the first 2 or 3 comics. He stayed for the whole show because he's the headline. He watched the show though. He sat in the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But the second he was done, he went out the back door, so he didn't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And it was like funny because my dad loves him. Everyone in my phone when I got home was like, "So did you get to meet him?" I'm like, "Kinda." You know what I mean? Like, did you ask him any questions? Like, nah. He left as soon as he was done.
Yeah, and they're all
Yeah.
different, man. They're all like Paul Rodriguez wants to leave. I guess it sounds like he wants to
Yeah.
leave. He doesn't talk to anybody.
And I want to say like, I hear stories like he does give up. It's not that he didn't care. I'm sure like he had other shows, but that's like, that's what people are like sometimes when they have stacked
I don't
days.
feel like he has to explain himself at all. Like if he wants to leave, he could just.
I just want to
leave.
make sure I'm not like
Yeah,
putting him I'm not putting him in a bad light. He's great.
You're not. I didn't take that as you putting in a bad light. Everyone's after the show thing. Some people don't do meet and greets. Like I opened for Felipe Esparza.
Right.
He loves it. He fucking loves it. Gets take a picture. He's the best at it.
That guy has so much energy though.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, hey, let's take a picture here. Let's do that. Picture. He loves it.
Yeah.
Versus like Paul, he's like, I'm going out through the back.
Yeah.
And I used to, I would be the going out through the back guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't really want to. Now I'm like watching Felipe do it. I have to force myself to go hi, because sometimes they just want to say hi.
Yeah.
But I think
And-
that's hard for me sometimes.
I'm usually fine. So I have like headline small, like a couple of shows. Like I headlined Chatterbox last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it.
And I think, that's the thing that I have, like, I'm trying to get prepared for is when I'm on the later half of the show, I don't have that buffer. Like, if I'm in the first 3 comics, I have 20, 30 minutes to collect myself, and then I can be sociable.
Yeah.
But when I'm the headliner, or when I'm, like, penultimate, people are immediately coming up to me, like, during my moments of anxiety, and I have to, like, learn to keep a lid on it. You know?
Especially after, since like being a road comic, you're not just a comic. Sometimes it just feels like you're a t-shirt salesman.
Yeah.
So after, you got to get off, you got to be prepared for your hellos. And if you're by yourself, you got to have you got to have all the apps out. You got to have, cause you got to get paid. Cause now you're done doing the goddamn material. Now it's like, all right, let's make this worth it. Now you're selling shirts for $20. You're like, hey, please buy my merch. Please, I'll fucking kill myself. Please. And then
I have so much merch.
yeah. So, but at the end of the show, you going from not wanting to talk to anybody, you have to immediately, all right, salesman face. Yeah, and I've done that, and I there have been nights where I'm like, I just want to go back to my hotel room and eat Taco Bell. I just want to go back to my hotel room and decompress. But it's like, no, you got to sell these shirts that you fucking, because you're getting paid nothing. Like you're getting paid for the weekend, but you're not, like being a B club headliner. When you get to there, you're like, oh, that's all I want. But then you're there, you're like, fuck, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah. And that's why so many comics stack. You know what I mean? That's why like they're drop and go as soon as they get this, because they have like 4 shows to make it worth it. You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I get it completely. Yeah. But I would be doing, but I've been forcing myself to be sociable, because that's what people like. People want to say hello, but it could be difficult.
Ironically, that's when masking comes in handy sometimes. It's like being able to like put on that, change my voice. Like how I talk on stage, people react like they look at me differently when they see me on stage first and then talk to me because that's not how I talk. Because it's practice,
voice.
it's rehearsed. Exactly.
It's your stage voice.
And it's like I look comfortable, but that's the idea. I'm not. The light's too bright. I can hear people talking shit in the back.
Plus, there's a point of purpose. You're saying stuff, your opinion on something, and then when it's off, it's like, no, I'm Ryan again. Please don't talk to me.
I wrote a joke once comparing doing show after show in a row, stand up. It was a joke about heckling, but it was comparing comedy to giving a blowjob.
Okay.
Like not that I don't want to do it, but it only looks like I'm having fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the bit.
That's funny. No, are there any moments of genuine fun up there for you?
I mean, I have fun. It always, of course, it feels good when the jokes are hitting right when they're supposed to, how they're supposed to.
How do you take a bomb as an autistic person?
I've learned to roll with it. Like I've learned to not pause. I keep going, and usually I can. If I flub, if I have something to comment on, like if it bombed because I flubbed it, I can work with that. And
I'm not talking about joke for joke, man. I'm talking about 20 minutes of horror. I'm talking about bad. Have you ever done that? It's
happened once, and it was stressful. It was like my third year. But it was also like the show is. I don't want to, because
you don't want to disparage.
Okay, here's the thing. It was at an old.
Okay, here's the thing.
It was at an old folks home.
Oh yeah! Come on, get out of here, Ryan. You're supposed to bomb there.
It was during their rec time.
That's not what I'm talking about.
They were not having it.
That's not a fuck. Well, it's easy for me to say. I go to if I do a gig and because I've done backyards, I've done quinceañeras. Where in my head I'm like, you're gonna bomb today. Yeah. You're doing this show for money. That's what you're doing.
To that, then I would say I have yet to have a set where it felt like bombing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've bombed once proper, twice proper, but man, it's just you do everything in your that affects you for money. It affects me for a while to where I'm like, you're just gonna do a game, not try nothing new to fucking lick your wounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm getting better at it too. Like I'm getting better at working. That's what I mean. It's like I think that's what's prolonged it so far is like. I've gotten good at if I flub a joke, picking it up or finding something new to comment on it to make it work for that audience. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I've professionally bombed yet.
Okay, how are the mics where you're at now? Is it just Chatterbox that's close?
Well, I go to Chatterbox. That's a choice. There are mics like I mentioned. I live in the IE right now. Sorry, brain fart.
You're okay.
And there's a lot of them that come and go. They're not great.
They're mics.
Yeah. Well, for my like the town I specifically live in.
Okay.
There was 3 mics when I first moved there, and I looked at all of them, and they were all at like bars and clubs, and they were places that weren't designed for comedy originally, but then they started doing a comedy night, and you track their reviews on Google and Yelp and all the sites, and the 1 stars started coming in right when they started doing comedy. Like the people that were there were not for it.
Yeah, the locals. The barflies.
And 9.5 times out of 10, they didn't last like 3 months because nobody wanted them there.
Yeah.
Literally, I remember reading one review is like, why are these people getting up on stage and talking about their terrible lives? I'm trying to eat my dinner.
Yeah!
It was awful.
That's amazing. No, mics aren't supposed to work in bar settings, but we do it because we want to do it. We do it because we're selfish. We want to ruin this person's karaoke night. Fuck your chicken wings, man.
Funny. It's so funny comparing. I remember one time someone asked me what is a mic, because some people think they're shows, like they hear comedy night and they think it's a full show. So someone who wasn't a comic asked me like what a mic actually is, and I explained it to them, and she's like, oh, it's like karaoke, and I'm like, no, it's worse, because I've never seen someone walk into a karaoke bar and be like, gross, they're singing.
I do that.
Yeah.
I'm a comic though.
Yeah.
I'm a comic. My wife and I went to eat Mexican food last night. There was karaoke happening, and I had to she was like, "This is disgusting," and I was like, "No, dude, fuck it." I started singing with the person badly.
Yeah.
Then somebody who could sing would start singing. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
You're meant for
With
better things. This is
Get
our
outta
thing.
here, man. No, it's this is selfish as a person, but I don't necessarily mind a bad mic or a mic that's like, I don't give a fuck whether or not you like I'm here or not.
Yeah.
I'm up here. I'm gonna do these jokes, and no offense to the person putting it together, but like, you could live or die. Like, this mic could live or die. I'm gonna squeeze as much energy as I can out of it, and so like, you just gotta be at those. Like, this could not be here. This might not be here next month.
Yeah.
Squeeze as much as you can out of it, no matter how terrible it is, because you're just thinking about reps. It doesn't matter where you put them.
True.
Yeah.
And I do think that I've tried to work on that mentality, like, because when I started, that is how I thought about it. But it was also my first 2 years. And I would tell people, like, people that would complain about me, like, there's always something you can take from a mic. And I would go to everything I could. I was going to maybe 6 mics. I still had traveling restrictions because I didn't drive. I took the bus everywhere. But even with that, I was able to go to 9 mics a week, three days out of the week.
That's great.
And
that's really good for no car. For no car, that I think I go to 2 mics a week, 2 mics a month.
Yeah.
But see, I try new stuff. I sandwich in, if I got a spot or a set, I'll sandwich in 2 to 3 minutes of new material, knowing that I could probably bring it back with stuff that it's already, So if I'm doing a spot at the store, if I'm doing a spot at a bar show, I'm gonna fit in 3 to 4 minutes, and I might bomb. It might be a shit sandwich, but it's that's the only way I've been miking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
No, yeah, there's always something, especially if you're watching this and you want to get into it, there's always something.
What are you talking about? What do you stop that?
What?
Get out of, no, there's too many. There's too many of us. No, who's gonna be? We can't all be famous.
No, I know. It's just this whole time. Every time I'm like, I don't like this. You're like, well, and then at the end, I'm like, you're right. I'm being too harsh. Do you like? Yeah,
for us, for yeah. You're thinking about starting comedy? No.
Do something better with your life.
Yeah. Or stay at your horribleness. Stay at your Amazon Prime job. Just stay there. There's nothing horrible. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think we're gonna cut the main episode here.
Okay.
Thank you again for being on the show. It was great.
Hell yeah, that was fun.
I believe you're on a show coming out next week, right? This comes out Thursday, so.
What am I? I'm doing a bunch of local shit next week.
Yeah.
Just check the website. Check my Instagram
we'll put your
@Saul
links
Comedy.
on the episode
Yes,
below.
please.
And we're gonna keep this conversation going. If you want to see the rest of it, make sure to check out the Patreon. It's $5, dude, and it's great. We're gonna have a lot of fun without you. But next time, I don't have an outro yet. Bye.